Okay, rise and shine, campers, because it's cold out.
No.
Well, we're doing it. I thought we were doing it again.
No, we're not doing it again.
Because
It is
it's great. It's
February
like-
3rd,
Right.
Tuesday, February 3rd. It is show 970 of the Matt Murphy Show, and we thank you
Rise and shine.
for joining us. And
Woodchuck chuckers. It's Groundhog Day.
what?
It's Groundhog Day.
Nope.
It just gives me great pleasure. Hello, Jackson. How are you?
Better now.
Okay, okie dokie, very good. Hey, it's the Matt Murphy Radio Show, Super Talk 99.7 WT, and we're pleased that you've decided to join us. Yes, it is Tuesday. It is February 3rd. Can we just get a nice swell just one last time so we can all relish in the day that was Groundhog Day and our big celebration yesterday? Can we just get one more swell? Ken didn't hear it. We tried to do it one more time, Ken, and Jackson put the big old kibosh on it.
Oh, Brother Jackson.
I know. He's a fun spoiler. I almost spit grape soda all over him earlier today, Ken. I mean, it was really close.
Woo, what happened?
It was one of those delicious Welch's grape ghost energy drinks.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love them because it combines two of my favorite things, energy drink and grape soda, Welch's grape soda. And it went down wrong, and Jackson was sitting in front of me, and Jackson watched as I mean, it was close. I mean, it was and then,
I almost went home, Ken.
Jackson said if I had spit grape energy drink all over him, he would have gone home.
Yeah, it would have just been a try again tomorrow type of thing.
No questions asked.
I'd like that every day.
I feel,
I'll
to
try
the
that
house.
again tomorrow.
I feel like that's deserved if you spit on me.
Yeah, no, come on. I didn't mean to spit on you. If I meant to spit on you.
I wouldn't be mad at you. I just wouldn't. I'm not doing a 4-hour show with.
You're just going to walk it?
Yeah,
You could clean it up. I think you'd stay here.
You'd be sticky.
Yeah, by about 3:45.
I think you would stay here if for nothing else to ridicule me for 4 hours.
Yeah, Brother Jackson might do that.
Yeah, that would be fun. Speaking of ridicule, we've got a lot to say about. Imagine, you talk about just calling it a day, going on home for the day, trying again tomorrow. It feels like that's what NES is doing. Slowly but surely, people's power's coming back on. That isn't that nice. I had somebody tell me today. I was transacting business earlier today, and I was picking up something, and the fella said I would have had it done earlier, but I haven't had power for the last 10 days, and my wife just told me that it came on an hour ago at the house. I'm like, well, isn't that nice? My goodness gracious. We've got a press conference happening at 4:35 this afternoon. We'll obviously share that with you. We're going to carry it live for you. I say 4:35 because we've got the bottom of the hour news, but whenever it hits.
Well, that'll be news.
Well, yeah.
So if it starts
if
then,
it hits,
we'll just hit it.
Yeah, we'll go with it. So 4:30 is the slated time. What is the chances that this Teresa Broyles Applin is not conducting the press conference? I think she probably is.
I think she is. I know we have not seen we haven't seen that fella Brent. What was it, Brent Baker?
Mm-hmm.
We have not seen him since the one last week where he was telling everybody he went to college with all of these other heads of utility companies, and they're all wanting to help.
Well, that's nice, Brent. Brent Baker. Somebody told me a story about him yesterday that was not very flattering. I don't know the guy. All I know is that he was on with us 2 days, last Monday, last Tuesday, and then Wednesday he ghosted us and then refused to come back on the show because we had some critical questions about the performance of Nashville Electric Service early on in this process, which obviously most of us have very, very strong questions regarding exactly how they've handled their business. They don't seem to have handled their business very well. I mean, I'm not even trying to hate on people. I'm just telling you, if you can't do the job that you're paid to do, then maybe you need to go do another job, and we need to find somebody that can do it. And, yes, I'm talking to Teresa Broyles Applin, and I'm talking to Brent Baker, and I'm talking to everybody else in management over there at NES. And thank you to the linemen. Thank you to the hardworking linemen. Thank you to the people out in the field. Every single one of you that are working your butts off to get our power back on. For those who still don't have it, we certainly appreciate you. This is not about you. They try to make it about you, and I hate them even more for it. because they shield themselves behind the yellow vest, right? They take a bunch of yellow vest hard hat guys and they put them in front of them, and then they say, hey, if you criticize us, you're criticizing them, and everybody knows that's not true, but that's what they do. And then this lady lies to us last night. I'm trying to get my Super Talk TV thing up and running there, Jackson, because I want to play this lady, Teresa Broyles-Applin. Was on last night. She posted this on the Nashville Electric Service X Machine page, where she did. Have you sent it to me or no? You doing it now? Okay, you're doing it. So, yeah, she sends this out last night, late into the evening, and basically tells us that they told us a lie when they put out their annual report discussing their budgets. So. That's what we are to understand, that they lied to us when they put out their budgets, because their budgets indicated that they had a $7.4, I think it was, $million savings in vegetation cleanup and tree trimming. That they had spent 7.4, it was like 21 to 14, $7.4 million less last year in tree trimming than they had the previous year. And we're like, oh, my goodness, maybe this is part of the problem. Maybe this is why you had so many issues with downed trees that created power line issues that caused telephone poles to go down, power poles to go down, and then there you go. Maybe that was the whole problem. She comes on last night and says, no, that's not true. And then we're like, what do you mean that's not true? That's not true. You're the one that put out that information. We're using your information. So how can your information not be true? Did I repost that? I know I did. Oh, yeah. This is also awesome. Yeah, there was a post about 3 bucket trucks sitting under somebody's 90-year-old grandma's house. Let's see. No, I didn't repost it. I got to find it. So let me find it. On the Nashville Electric Service website, because you got to see her. You got to see her when you do. Anyway, we've got that going on today. We will speak with Jason Cole, who is the mayor of Laverne, Tennessee, at 3:35. He is none too pleased with the performance of NES, none too pleased with the performance, frankly, of Mayor Freddie O'Connell, and so we'll see what he has to say at 3:35 regarding this very important story. At 4:05 this afternoon, we'll tilt our attention away from that and toward the 917 Society and to the 250th birthday of the United States of America. And we will welcome Joni Bryan in studio with us, who is the head of the 917 Society. She'll tell you all about it. Brenda Willis will be here with her as well. 4:35, of course, is that NES press conference. We're going to carry, or 4:30-ish, we'll carry that for you live. And then Congressman Tim Burchett with us to talk about the lack of a government shutdown. That's good news, I suppose, depending on your perspective. And secondarily, to talk to us about Middle Tennessee and how we can be better in terms of electric service. Here's that post from last night. It's about 2 minutes of your time, but it's well worth the listen. Here's Teresa Broyles-Applin explaining to us that NES is either lying to us now or was lying to us then.
Hello, I'm Teresa Broyles-Applin, President and CEO of Nashville Electric Service. Tremendous progress has been made today in terms of restoring power and collaborating with city leaders for a path forward. We committed to bringing you estimated restoration projections, and I can report that we made up ground and are now ahead of expectations. As of today, power has been restored to more than 90% of our customers.
They're ahead of expectations. So y'all just shut your mouths. Is that what she said? I think that's what she said.
And I can report that we made up ground and are now ahead of expectations. As of today, power has been restored to more than 90% of our customers. That means dedicated crews working around the clock have turned the power back on for more than 200,000 customers. That includes metro schools, all of which now have power. Those of you still without power are our top priority. We won't stop until power is restored for every customer that can receive it. If you have questions about whether your home can receive power, It may involve damage to the equipment attached to your home or residence. We have information on our website that explains that. We also have a video that could be helpful. We are updating restoration completion dates by zip code twice a day on our website to give customers personalized information. I want to clear up a question we've been asked frequently about reducing the budget from our vegetation management and tree trimming budget. That is false. That budget was actually increased every year for the past 4 years, as vegetation management is an integral part of our year-round efforts to provide power.
Okay, so she just out and out says that's a false statement, that we have reduced our budget. Well, the budget year to year went down by $7.4 million, so surely she's now going to explain to us why their own budget reported that they spent $7.4 million less last year than the year before on vegetation remediation.
We know this weather event has
you're not going to mention it? Oh, okay.
Hardship
Sure.
on our community.
Uh-huh.
So NES, we are stopping disconnections for non-payment and waiving late fees indefinitely. And if you are experiencing an extended outage, I want to remind you that you are never charged for power you don't use. Finally, I want to thank all of our employees and line workers.
She wants to let you know that you're not charged for. Well, thank you for nothing, lady. I mean, why in the hell would we think that we are charged for power that we don't use? What we want to make sure is that we are reimbursed or compensated for. I mean, well, goodness gracious.
Those from right here in Nashville and those who've come to help us from other states.
Mm-hmm.
We added an additional 500 line workers today, bringing our total to over 1,700. This is our largest storm response in NES history, but we are also responding to the largest outage event in NES history.
The reason that it was the largest outage event in NES history, many are speculating, is because of your determination that you would cut the budget for vegetation remediation or for tree trimming over the years, and that you were so obsessed with, quote-unquote, protecting the canopy since you have been CEO of this organization. I'm also to understand that you were some 8 to 12 months behind in the necessary remediation. Anyway, I'm done with the video there, Jackson. I don't know if you've still got it up or not. But so, my goodness gracious, there's a lot to unpack there. We'll take your telephone calls. We'll talk to Jason Cole. We'll continue to follow this story, and we'll continue to cover this story because it's the most important thing going on in Middle Tennessee right now. And frankly, I understand that only 15,000 customers, I say only 15,000 households are without power right now, but it remains that we discuss what needs to happen next. And we will continue to do so on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. You know, as funny as Jackson is on air, I sometimes think you're funnier off air. I will not say who Jackson was referring to, but Jackson just said that he said, well, saying that he's worthless is an insult to worthless people. That's pretty funny. He is not talking about anyone that we've brought up over the course of the last 20 or 30 minutes or so. He was talking about someone completely unrelated to the radio show today, so don't try to put two and two together. 41 minutes after the hour, I mentioned coming up Joni Bryan with the 917 Society, what a wonderful organization it is. I've just found out a little bit about it, and we're going to have her on along with our good friend Brenda Willis to talk about some activities for the 250th anniversary of the United States of America. But right now, we welcome Laverne Mayor Jason Cole to the show, who is none too pleased about the NES actions, preparation, and reaction to the storm. And we wanted to talk to him about how Laverne is making out. Mayor Cole, good afternoon. Welcome in. How are you?
I am doing okay. How about yourself, sir?
Doing well. Thank you for being on with us. I appreciate a mayor in our community coming on in a timely fashion. It's a difficult task to get some local leadership on these days, as you might expect. They're very busy. I don't know what they're doing necessarily, but they're very busy. Tell us about how Laverne made out during the storm and in the aftermath of it.
Well, during the storm, just like everyone else, we were hit hard. Our public works team did a phenomenal job keeping the roads clear, keeping trees off of most roads. But unfortunately, that key element of electricity was very much lacking on our NES side of town. Our Middle Tennessee portion had virtually no outages.
Yeah, walk me through, as mayor of Laverne, you watch this happen. You're trying to coordinate emergency services. You're trying to coordinate preparedness on the front end, and you're reacting to what's going down on the back end. And then you watch, and at what point, Jason, did you realize, man, there is a distinct difference between how MTE is handling this situation versus NES?
Well, we started planning for this weather event a week and a half to 2 weeks before it hit, because the forecasts were all out there. We were actually planning for worst weather. MTE was very proactive. They had reached out, kind of explained what was going on, but as usual with NES, we didn't hear a peep. I've just honestly, I've been in office as mayor for 7 years. And last night was the first time that the CEO has actually picked the phone and called my office at all. And sadly, she did it after 8 o'clock, so I didn't get in touch with her, but I'm still waiting for that call back. But they had a plan, and NES didn't seem to have a plan. I mean, they had 120 NES linemen and 40 contractors day one, with 230,000 people out of power. That's just that's not a plan. That's planning for failure.
Well, it's no doubt frustrating, and we've gone over some of the figures, and it is infuriating that we've yet to get an answer as to why in the world there were not more linemen that were brought in prior to the storm. We saw other organizations, other electric companies do it around our community, and then around the Southeast, we've seen similar-sized cities report that they had, tens of thousands of linemen ready to go in the event that they had icing and storm situations. So, you're a city of about what, 40,000, a little less than 40,000?
42,000.
42,000. How many folks are on MTE versus NES, roughly?
It's about 80-20 split. 20% MTE, 80% NES.
And what are your constituents telling you regarding response from Nashville Electric? Has it been just as bad as what you've received, I would assume, Mayor?
Yes, they have told me they have felt forgotten. They've constantly asked me and thanked me for making sure that they're not forgotten in the community. That NES just does not respond. That many times it takes them days just to get a text back that says, yes, they've recorded their outage. I mean, this is not a coherent system that works with the community for what they're doing, and it has to be reevaluated. The whole emergency planning aspect of it has to be reevaluated, and they need more stakeholders. I know the mayor of Nashville appoints a board to govern NES, but in all honesty, that doesn't represent Laverne. It doesn't represent Sumner County or Cheatham County or the other areas where NES serves thousands of people, yet they have no say in these operations.
So we had Senator Marsha Blackburn on earlier in the week. I asked her a simple question, and she answered it very simply. Do we need new leadership? Is it time for Teresa Broyles-Applin to be removed from her position as CEO? And is it time to see new leadership come in? Her response was an immediate yes. I've not been able to ask Mayor Freddie O'Connell because, sadly, after having Freddie on the day after the event happened last Monday, he has not, quote-unquote, had the time for us. But I'll ask you, Mayor Cole, do you believe that there needs to be new leadership at NES?
Absolutely.
And that, I would assume, cannot come soon enough for you?
That should have been done yesterday.
What about the idea, and we've floated the idea with a number of people, that we need to regionalize this appointing authority. Why in the world Davidson County has sole appointing authority over an organization that affects your constituents, Mayor, and they don't really have any say? I mean, they look to you as their elected mayor for leadership, and you're providing as much leadership as you possibly can, everything that I've seen at very least. But when you don't have any control over who's over NES, then there's precious little you can do about their failures.
Correct, and it's leaving us, our community, in the dark, both literally and figuratively.
No doubt. So, I mean, I would assume that you would prefer to have some level of say, whatever that might be, to regionalize the Nashville Electric Service in a way that gives the people of Laverne and Rutherford County a little more say in all of this?
Yes.
What do you need right now?
Well, we need the last of our people to get power. I've actually reached out about obtaining some of the generators. Haven't heard back yet about that for some of our residents. We've got about 70 left without power, including one terminal patient who's been dealing with cancer. And then in the long run, we need communication from NES and from Nashville, not just in times of emergency, but we need ongoing communication. There should be a partnership. There shouldn't be we wait for disaster hit and then start talking.
Well, I would agree with that wholeheartedly. Well, please let us know if there's anything we can do for Laverne. Great folks down there. We need to get your power back on, all of your power back on. I appreciate your leadership. I appreciate you being so responsive to your constituents, Mayor, and frankly, being very direct to those that need to be held responsible. I think we need that type of direct approach moving forward. That's what the leadership is, and we appreciate you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, take care. There's Jason Cole, who is the mayor of Laverne, joining us for a few good minutes to talk about his constituents who remain without power as a result of NES. Let's talk with Butch real quick before we go to a timeout. Hey, Butch, how are you?
I'm doing very well, Matt. Matthew, I was going to tell you, I used to work for Houston Lighting and Power in Houston, Texas, which has way more customers than Nashville by probably tenfold. And I work what you call the distribution center or trouble board. The problem is not the upper it's not the upper echelon. The problem is poor training in that department. Because even when the lights are out, you can run temporary cables to get critical customers on, if they're on dialysis or whatever. Problem is the trouble board is not up to par. They should have a lot of RC switches, it's remote control switches, be able to switch the power around and narrow the grid down. And as far as the trees go, and some people love trees. Everybody loves trees. But the problem is when they come through with their permission or without permission, they're cutting the trees down because the trees will grow back. The problem is there's too much politics in their electrical company. They got the NES, even MTE. They for a while they had problems. So they have to resolve it from internal, not with the board. The board is not the problem. The problem is the trouble board or the distribution center. That's my opinion on it. And the reason I know, I worked there many years, and we did not have that problem.
You worked at NES?
Negative. I worked at Houston Lighting and Power, which is a lot bigger, which is Reliant Energy now. And I worked there, what do you call it, the distribution center or the trouble board. The problem is the trouble board, which is like a war room they have maps on the wall, all the distribution lines.
Butch.
Yes, sir.
Who's responsible for that?
Actually, they are the ones in the trouble board.
Who's responsible for what happens at Nashville Electric Service?
All right. So as far as a spokesperson, she has no power. I'm
not talking about the spokesperson. I'm talking about the CEO. What does that stand for, Butch?
Well, I know exactly what it stands for.
Well, tell me what it stands for.
The CEO is the big boss.
What does CEO stand for?
The boss man of the company. But
no. What do the letters stand for? Do you know?
I know exactly what it stands for.
Well, then tell me. Then tell me.
Okay. Well, don't talk over me. I explain to you. The problem is the CEO does not know what he's doing, but the problem is not the CEO.
It's not a he, it's a C. It's not a he, it's a C, a she. What does it stand for?
I don't care which he is. It don't matter.
All right. Butch, thank you for your time today. I appreciate your experience in Houston, and I appreciate your expertise in the field. I understand that when the nuts and bolts are discussed, there's I get it. I get what you're saying. CEO stands for Chief Executive Officer. That person is responsible for everything that happens in a given organization or system. And I just don't have any appetite to forgive that right now. I understand that perhaps you have a level of expertise that I do not have regarding the specifics of how you work a trouble board in an electrical grid. I don't believe for a second that the CEO of Nashville Electric Service has more knowledge than I do about it, and I would expect that the CEO of that organization would. I would expect that that person would put people in play. I don't pretend that I understand everything about running a radio station. But as program director of a radio station for many years, I'm not program director of Super Talk 99.7, I also understood that it was my responsibility to make sure that there were people in place that did. To make sure that if there is a crisis, that we gather those people and we make sure that we are handling the crisis to the best of our ability, that we prepare for that crisis prior to the event occurring. The problem wasn't the lineman. The problem wasn't, it was the lack of linemen. The problem wasn't the linemen. The problem was the lack of linemen. There were like less than 200 linemen staged prior to this event. It was an event that we 8-10 days out knew would be a problem. So I'm not trying to be short with you, but this suggestion that, oh, well, she's not you don't even know that it's a she, by the way. So I would invite you to kind of catch up on the story and understand the dynamics of who this person is, what she did, what she didn't do to prepare, what she was focused on, which was renewable energy and renewable resources and regenerative energy and canopy and all that crap. It's 54 after the hour. We will suspend NES talk and we'll move to a conversation about the Constitution of the United States of America here in just a moment. But we'll come back to NES at 4:30 as they have a press conference scheduled, and we will carry that for you live. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN.